Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's live. I'm so glad that you're here. It's Thursday, June 12th, and it is a beautiful, if not a little bit on the hot side, day in Boston. And I want to welcome every single one of you. Let me know, as I always ask you, where you're watching from and what you're hoping to gain out of this live that I'm doing today. So, I think I'm going to change my middle name to Prep Queen. What do you think about that? Ellen Prep Queen Allard. I might do that. Hello, Renee. Hello, Prodigal. So nice to have you here. And Kimmy, welcome. Tell me hi, Beth. How is the sound? Let's start there. We always want to make sure that you can hear me nice and clearly. You might notice Kimmy is here from Apple Valley. Prodigal says AV is good. Excellent. You might notice, if you have seen my lives before, that I'm in a different place. Did anybody notice that? Oh my God, that's so funny, Prodigal. I'm telling you, it's a small world. So we are in our apartment in Boston, and we've been here since last Thursday. And those of you who were waiting patiently for me to start last Thursday know that I had to cancel it because we had a family health emergency. And a week later, everything is back in order for the most part. And we're still here in Boston. So I don't have all my usual stuff. I kind of have to make do. And that's one of the things that I teach you, as the prep queen. That's one of the things that I teach you how to do, is to make sure that you don't lose your cool. And when what hits the fan, that you have to just take a deep breath and know that it's going to work out. If you have ingredients in your pantry, and when I say pantry, I'm kind of, the whole 9 yards, but I'm also it's the dry pantry, right? The canned goods, anything that does not need to be refrigerated or frozen. So we have those goods. I call those really the pantry goods. Then we have the refrigerated goods, and then we have the freezer goods meaning food. And if you learn how to have a well-stocked pantry, the triple, then you're not going to ever be in trouble. You're always going to make a meal. And if you also subscribe to the idea that it doesn't have to be a 10-course meal, and it doesn't have to be like something you had in a French restaurant. It can be very simple, because at the end of the day, it's fuel for your body. It's just like a car. In my latest video, which I posted last night, I talk about how the food that you put into your body is your fuel. It's what makes your body run. So if it's not the most exciting, home run meal, it's fine. It's not such a big deal. You'll get by. And I do have a pantry guide that I offer for sale in my store. And if you're interested, I will definitely put it in the show notes. And if you are interested, let me know in the comments, and maybe Prodigal can help us keep a list of who is interested, and I can make sure to somehow get you the link. It's basically, it says that it's a beginner's guide, a pantry guide, but it really is for anybody who wants to either build from scratch their pantry for whole food plant-based, or maybe they're a little rusty and they need to sort of up the game a little bit. And it's really helpful to have somebody else who's done the work for you, and you can then use that as your guide. You can even take it with you to the market, or you can use it to make your grocery list. So what I want to do today is just basically give you, pretend that you're sort of sitting on a stool in my kitchen, and we're conversing, and we're talking about what we're going to make for dinner, and we're talking about what we're doing this weekend, and we're hanging out, and I'm going to show you how I make a whole food plant-based lifestyle work, so that I don't run into trouble, so that I don't run into opening the fridge and going, I'm starving and I don't have anything to eat. And that's when you call takeout, you call pizza, you go down this, you go to your nearest restaurant and you take out stuff. And while it might be delicious, it might not actually jive with what you want to do. And I've been doing this lifestyle since 2019. And in the beginning, I have to say that I was pretty overwhelmed and didn't know where to start myself. And so my job here is to help you avoid that overwhelm and to help you learn some of the tricks of the trade so that you'll be able to pull a meal together at the drop of a hat. That's really my goal. And that really applies to whether you're whole food plant-based or you're a carnivore. It doesn't really matter. You want to have a well-prepped kitchen. And that's right, Prodigal, you don't recognize this kitchen because we're in our Boston apartment. And my husband, Michael, is going to come sauntering through in a minute. I hear him talking on the phone in the other room. This is a little odd. I don't know. See, there he is. Coming on. I thought I would tell you, actually, this is my homemade lemonade. And I'm going to tell you how I make it. I cheat. I use either fresh lemons. I'll do like a whole lemon that I squeeze. Today, I found at Trader Joe's this organic 100% Sicilian lemon juice. And I put in maybe 2 tablespoons, like about this much. Then I filled the rest with water and ice. And I put a little dropper of this, which is a stevia made by a company called Sweet Drops, or Sweet Leaf, actually. The company is called Sweet Leaf. And I just put a little bit of stevia, liquid stevia in it. And I don't have it here, but lately I've been doctoring it even more and adding just a little touch, the same amount of lemon juice. I've been adding pomegranate juice. And it turns it like into pink lemonade. And I love it. So, okay, let's see. Where are we? The first thing I want to do is I want to talk about prepped rice. And I'm going to give you the recipe. By the way, I decided today it's a lot of work to put recipes in, well, even in long form videos, but especially after I do a live, it's a lot of work to do the recipe. So I'm just telling you now, I'm going to be very clear and give you the recipe. And that way you'll have it, but I'm not going to put it in the show notes. So grab a pencil, a pen, do it on your phone, whatever, and grab a piece of paper and write this down. It's super easy. I love to mix grains. Sometimes I mix more than 2, but for this discussion, I'm talking about 2 grains that I mixed. And by the way, if you look on your screen, you're going to see a thumbs up. Would you click on that? Give me a thumbs up if you would. You can give me a heart too, which I see on my, I don't know if you guys are on your phones or on your laptop, but there's a heart icon yeah, there we go. Right. Now, so Nicola gave me a thumbs up. What I want you to do now is I want you to go to the thumbs up icon that's at the top of the screen. All right. I'm going to show you because not everybody knows where it is. I'm going to take a picture of it. Hold on so that you can I do this? Yeah, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want a video. I want this. Okay. I'm going to look at the picture on my phone. I'm going to show you. See, this is a picture I just took of me. And right up here, there's an icon right there of a thumb. Click on it. Give it a thumbs up. And that way you're telling YouTube that, hey, people, you should watch this. Now, there are some people on this live that I want to make sure I give a shout out to. The first one, the most important, is Prodigal Aquarist. And his name is Don, and he has become my, we want recipes. Prodigal, I shortened it to Prodigal, has become my right-hand man, and he is my moderator. And he makes sure that everything stays nice and clean and pleasant. And now Liquid Hour DNB. Oh, wait, I also want to tell you that Prodigal, he is, I don't say grows. He, what's the word I want? Not grows, but he helps to, I'm sticking my foot in my mouth. He loves fish, and he loves like really specialized fish, and he has tanks, and that's what he does. So Prodigal, I'm just butchering it. So feel free to put in the comments what you do so that people will understand. Now, the other person that's on here is Ninad. Ninad is his name here is Liquid Hour DNB, and he has the coolest also YouTube channel where he tells me he's not a musician, but he is a musician, and you need to go follow him, because if you want to have like some background music, he's your man. Okay. But we decided today that we're going to do a collaboration where he's going to do the music and I'm going to do the lyrics, right? Are we going to do that? And my sister is here too, and she's very special, Faye Weisbaum, because she's been doing whole food plant-based even before me, and she talk about a master. She is masterful at it. So now I also see Nicola Recipes. She's a new friend. She has a channel. I don't know much about her, but that will change because I'm going to learn. Liquid Hour, thank you. You gave me a super chat. Super chat, that's very, very kind of you. Super chat is sort of like a way to say thank you. And it's somewhere here. You can, maybe Prodigal can explain how to get to it, but you can actually, if you want to gift me with a small, gift, you can do that. Okay. And I'm very grateful for all of it. Now, let's keep going. I want to get back to the recipe. Okay. I like mixing grains, and I love white rice. And supposedly, I was listening to a podcast today that said that brown rice we're all under the assumption that brown rice is so much better for us because it's an intact grain and it hasn't had the germ removed or some such thing. But I don't love brown rice. I mean, I eat it, but I have to have it with a lot of other things that I love. So I do love white rice, and I especially love jasmine. I don't love quinoa. Go figure. I don't know why. I just don't love it. But when I mix the quinoa with the jasmine rice, mwah, 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 it is just delicious. So here comes the recipe. So, and Prodigal said, tap that little box with the number sign in it. That's not the number, the money sign in it. And that's how you can send a super chat or a super sticker. So I'm going to see if we can get some super chats or super stickers today. Let's see what we can do. If this provides value to you and you enjoy this community, that would be kind of a cool thing to do. All right, so here's the recipe. I know it by heart because I've done it so many times. You want to do equal parts, and in this case, I did 1/2 cup of jasmine rice, write that down, and 1/2 cup of quinoa. And I put it in a strainer like this strainer. All right, I have mushrooms in there now, but I put it in the strainer and I rinse it until it runs clear and not milky. And then I let it drip dry because I don't want any residual water to be on the rice. Then I take 1 3/4 cups and an inch more, just a little bit more of water, and I put it in a pan with the rice and the quinoa. You don't have to do anything else to it. I like to. So I tend to sort of, doctor it up. I happen to love this Trader Joe's Mushroom and Company. It's like a multi-purpose umami. I love this. Take a screenshot of it. And if you're not near a Trader Joe's, but you know somebody who is, try to get a hold of this. This is really handy. I put that in. And what else did I do? Some salt and pepper. I think that was it. And then I cooked it on the stove. What I did was I put it on medium, sort of a medium, a little bit more than medium heat. And I let it go until it really was boiling. And then I turned it back down to simmer and I covered it. And I let it, at that point, it was 15 minutes. And when it was 15 minutes was up, I took the lid off and I put a towel. I'll show you what you can do. You can take a towel and put it over the rice and the quinoa mixture. You can do this with any grain. And what it does is it helps to soak up sort of any of the residual humidity, or the water, so that the result ends up being fluffy and not mushy. So that's just a little tip I give you. Okay, so where was I? So you have the half cup. Oh, okay, wait a minute. We have to just turn. I forgot to turn off my phone. I'm on Do Not Disturb now. We have to. So it's a half a cup of quinoa, and you can use any color or mixed. Sometimes they come mixed. Half a cup of quinoa, half a cup of jasmine rice. Use whatever rice. I don't know if it'll work with basmati. It's a different, longer grain. It might. A cup and 3/4 and a little bit more of water. Put that together after you've rinsed the rice and the quinoa off. Put that together in a pot. Let it come up to like a boil, but not super high. You don't want to put it on high. You want to have it like on medium, somewhere between medium and medium high. And as soon as it comes to a boil, turn it down to simmer and wait for it to turn down to simmer. It might take 30 seconds or more, because if you put the lid right on, you might end up having a spillover. Right? But ultimately, you want to put the lid on and then let it cook from that point on for 15 minutes. And then when it's done, you take the lid off and you put the towel on and you let it sit maybe for 10 or so minutes. So you really don't want to dig right into it. You want to let it sit for a little bit and sort of bloom, if you will. Okay, so now this is the result. I made this last night. And you can see how dark it is. And it's dark because, first of all, the quinoa is dark, but also this is dark as well, this umami. And by the way, Trader Joe's isn't the only. They don't have what's the word I want? They're not the only ones. There's a lot of companies that make umami. I've seen them in the regular market too. But what I do is, now, I'm not going to do it now because we will go through this probably in the next day or two. There's my husband and his son is here. But what I've done that works really well, and I kind of made this up, and it's really cool, is I take some silver foil. You can do it, I suppose you could do it with saran wrap, plastic wrap as well, if you don't want to use. A lot of people don't like to use silver foil. So I take it and I get, a big piece, and then I put the amount of rice that I want to freeze. It's usually a cup, because between my husband and I, we usually eat about a cup. And I lay it down on the foil and I press it down. You can even bring the sides of the foil over and use that to help press it down. And then it becomes like a flat book, a thin, like a really thin magazine. And you take it and now this is important too, you put it on like, oops, that was a lot of noise, sorry. You put it on a big tray like this. You can probably fit 3 of them on here. And you stick it, if you have room, in your freezer. And once they're frozen, you have 3 frozen, thin, really super thin, like a thin magazine of rice. Now, when you want to go, after you freeze it, when you want to defrost it, here's the cool thing. Take out a pot, and it can stay in there for months. Take a pot and put water in it, put a steamer basket in it. Oh, it's been a long week. Put a steamer basket in it and put the frozen piece of rice stuff on it. Turn it up and to high, get it boiling. Maybe turn it down a little once it boils. Cover it, and the steam will defrost this thin rice in 10 minutes. And then you have your rice, and you can just take it out of the foil or the wrap or whatever, and you can, have it. You might want to heat it up more, like in the microwave or so. Anyway, that's my little trick, and it works really, really well. Okay, what's going on in the chat? Anything I need to know? Prodigal says gross, no. Disgusting, maybe, LOL. I'm not sure what if you're watching on a computer, it's below the video. Oh, we want recipes. Oh, Kim asks, what would you suggest for someone trying to lose weight? Well, I will tell you the best thing you can do is to hire me as your coach. I offer 1 month, 4 consecutive weeks coaching sessions. And I take a very limited number of clients because I have a busy life. And I also want to make sure to give as much of myself to each of my clients. If you're interested, you can send me an email at Ellen's with an S on the end of it, ellenshealthykitchen.com. And I'll send you the information. But other than that, if you're trying to lose weight, just keep following me, and what you're going to learn is that I am trying to help people get off the diet roller coaster that we have been it's been ingrained in our minds, in our hearts, in our bodies, in our souls, that we need to be on a diet to lose weight. And what I want to do is I want to teach you how to eat in a way that is going to naturally help you lose weight, but you're not going to have to count points and weigh and measure and portion. I don't know about you. I'll raise my hand and tell you that I had about 6 decades of that, and I was done. When I discovered whole food, plant-based, oil-free eating, I was done with dieting. I threw out all the diet books. I stopped worrying about it, and the weight melted off. I don't really like to make that a big focus of my work. My focus is to help you get off the diet roller coaster and to just eat foods that are real foods, that are going to nourish you, that are going to fuel you, that are going to sustain you. And you will be 100% stunned at the difference in your life. That's I can pretty much tell you that for a fact. Okay, why is I'm still getting these weird sounds on my phone. Don't know what it's about. All right, let's see. Right, so I'm not going to put recipes today. I'm sorry, I just can't. I have too much going on. We had this little health emergency in my family, and I just don't have it in me to put recipes. So that's why I was very particular about explaining to you how to make that. Now, if anybody wants to put it in the comments, you are welcome to do that. But that's, if you want, you can just re-listen to this live. You'll get that in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. You'll hear me. I will have explained how to make that rice quinoa mixture. Okay, moving on. Let me put this over here. I want to tell you something funny that happened last night. My husband's son, my son-in-law, is here, and he is an absolute. He hates tofu. He does not like the taste. No, it's not so much. Yeah, he doesn't like the texture, is what he told me. It's kind of tasteless, so it's hard to not. It's hard to hate it when there's really no taste. The taste is what you have. The taste is whatever you put on it. So I've created a recipe called torn tofu. And again, okay, Prodigal is saying, you were saying he grows fish. Oh, so he's gross. No, you're not gross. And you don't grow fish. I know that. You cultivate them. I don't really know what the language is, but I want to be respectful to you and to the work and your passion for the kind of fish which is why you're called Prodigal Aquarist. So anyway, let me keep going. Pat says, I found if I toast quinoa in a pan first, yes, it adds a nice flavor. And it also can sort of take the bitterness away too, because quinoa can be bitter. He does not like the temp. You know what? I don't know, but my guess is he would not like the tempeh. I do. I meant to get that today, actually, when I went to Whole Foods, but that's okay. I'm going to make this tofu recipe, which is called torn tofu, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it. I believe everybody I make it for. Oh, so I was telling you the story. So I made it yesterday or the day before, and I had it in the fridge cold. And at lunch yesterday, he saw that I put some of it on my salad, and he said, "Can I have some?" And I said, "Sure. You're not going to like it. You don't like tofu." But he said, "I'll try it." So he put it on his salad, and let me just tell you, he took seconds. And he told me that he really liked it. So there you go. Go figure. But I think what he said was he liked did he say he liked the flavor? I don't know. When he comes back through, maybe I can grab him and ask him to tell me what he liked about it. Now, I will tell you that I used this Nasoya Organic Super Firm. That is my new favorite obsession for tofu. It's not the kind that comes in water. It's the kind that it has a little bit of water. You still have to sort of drain it a little bit. But this is also Trader Joe's version of it, high protein tofu. And I like it because it's not as soft. And there are some times when I want soft tofu, but not for this. But here's the really cool thing that I do with it. I'm not sure how I'm going to show this to you because I like I said, I'm not in my kitchen. So I'm going to put it in here. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Make sure you get your pencils and your pens ready for this. So I'm going to take the tofu. Now, I only have half of it because I used the other half to make the torn tofu. And I knew I wanted to save it and use it to show you how to do this. So I'm going to take it out of here. Take it out of here. Still has a little bit. Now, I don't care if it has a little bit of water in it because the recipe actually calls for a little bit of water. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, but I can't. Let's see if I can do it this way. Hold on. If I go like this. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So I'm going to take the tofu and I'm going to tear it. I'm going to tear it into like that kind of a piece. And then I'm going to keep tearing it until I have almost large-ish croutons. You can make them whatever size you want. Doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm wondering if my sister Faye has made this. I feel like I gave her the recipe. And so you just basically, now you could cut it if you want it into uniform shapes, but I think that what happens is that the torn edges of it kind of soak up the seasonings in a way that's different than if it's just a straight edge. So I'm just tearing it, and let me tell you that I was that person who hated tofu, but once I became a whole food plant-based lifestyle, well, not became, once I started following it, I knew that I had to have, plant-based sources of protein. And so I just figured out ways. I can't eat it like right out of the package. It just doesn't appeal to me. Some people do, but okay. Now my hands are a little bit full of stuff, so I'm just going to wash them. And then I'm going to keep going. Let me just look at the chat and see if I need to pay attention. Okay. Prodigal says the increased surface area picks up more of the flavors. Yeah, yes, exactly. That's what happens. Okay, so I'm going to put this back here, and I'm going to, if I do it, oh yeah, if I do it here, it's even better. Okay, so here are the ingredients. Get your pens ready. Now the recipe calls for a full block of that tofu. So I'm going to tell you the halved ingredients that are appropriate for this amount. Okay. And it's it is a 16-ounce package. So this is approximately 8 ounces. Okay. And I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Now, I don't love, this is not my favorite nutritional yeast, but in a pinch it works. It's from Trader Joe's. I'm sorry for that loud noise. I know it can be jarring. I'm going to do a heaping tablespoon because I love nutritional yeast, and it's a great source of B vitamins. If you're going to buy nutritional yeast, do as I say, not as I do. This has a bunch of vitamins added to it. I prefer having plain old nutritional yeast that doesn't have anything added to it. Okay, now I'm going to do 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. That's this. So 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. By the way, this is kind of a cute way. I keep all of my spoons in a beautiful little glass jar because I use them so much and I don't want to go digging in a drawer. Okay, here is 1/4. And it's okay if it's a little bit more. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to be shaking it and mixing it up, so I'm not too worried about it just spilling in like that. All right, I'm going to do 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And you can see I'm layering in all these delicious seasonings, these flavors. I am going to do 1/2 teaspoon of curry. And does that smell good? I got curry at this beautiful Indian store, And as soon as I run out of it, I'm going to run to that store and get more. It's really flavorful. Okay, and I always do a little bit more, so just because I love the taste of the curry. All right, so far so good. Then I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Where did I put the chili powder? I know I took it out. Oh, here it is. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Oh, I need more. Okay, I'm gonna just use the half, and I'll just do it twice. And here's half, and another half. So that's a teaspoon. Then I'm gonna do some salt. This is Himalayan pink salt. And I'm going to do some pepper. So those are all the dried ingredients. Then I'm going to do 1.5 tablespoons of water. Here we go. Here's a tablespoon. Put that over here, and maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to do 1/2 tablespoon of coconut aminos, which you could use soy sauce if you want. This is a tablespoon. I'm going to use about 1/2 of this. Just like that. Is there anybody here who's never tried coconut aminos? I'm going to keep this close by because I might use more of it. And then the first thing I'm going to do is grab a large spoon and mix it. I might not need to shake it. This might just be enough. And there we go. You can see how it's all coated with it. And if you look at it and you go, oh, I want more of whatever, you can just add more of whatever seasonings floats your boat. Okay? And then I am going to take my, let's see, how am I going to do this? Hold on a second because I'm working in a very tight space. And I'm going to take this, right? And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to explain what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this tray, and I'm going to put some parchment paper on it. So I'm going to take this parchment paper. Now close your ears. This is going to be loud. I'm going to walk over here so it's not as loud. Okay. Sprinkle it up. This is a little trick I've learned. You don't have to fight with it because when you just do it like that, the edges sort of curl up. So what you do is you just crunch it like this. I'm going over here because I don't want it to be so loud. Right, I crunched it into like a little ball, right? And it lays much easier on the, let's see, on the tray. All right. Oh boy, that you guys probably are saying, boy, is that loud. Okay, and then I'm going to take the tofu and I'm going to just pour it on. That's it. Add that extra. I don't want to waste any of the goodness. But I'm going to spread it out. Use a spoon to do that. Okay, so I think you can see it. Okay. And then if some of the pieces are too big, you can just cut them. This is so delicious when it comes out of the oven, and it's also so delicious when it's cold. So I'm going to put it on top of the oven because I want to preheat it. I want to use air fry. That's the mode I'm using. And I'm going to put the temperature to 375. And I'm going to set the time for, let me see, how many minutes do I do? 10 to 11 minutes. So I have a Breville, which is just a fabulous oven. I'm going to turn the start on. It's going to make a little bit of noise as it's warming up. And And as soon as it's right now it's preheating. As soon as it's done preheating, I'll put that in, and we'll stay on long enough for you to see how it comes out. And you're gonna run to your kitchen and make it. So Kim says she uses Worcestershire sauce instead of soy sauce. That is a brown sauce. It's a different flavor. It's if I were going to do that, I would use a vegan version of it. So because Worcestershire sauce is made with anchovies, I think. But you do you, and whatever works for you, whatever you use, I that's fine. The cool thing about this recipe is that it's very adaptable. You can really use whatever flavors float your boat. And Kim, I see that you sent me an email. Fabulous. I'll see it later tonight, and I will respond. Let's see. I want to just go back and see we have Prodigal says, do you use garam masala? It's a mix of, yes, cinnamon, mace, peppercorns, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, and cardamom. I do. I don't know that I have any here. Let's see. I don't think I do. I have some in my other house. I'm just curious to see. No, I'm not as well stocked here as I am in my other house. And I'm so grateful that you all decided to stick with me, even though I'm not as well stocked here. But yes, and you know what? I think, Prodigal, that this would be a really good recipe with garam masala. As a matter of fact, the next time I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that because I think it would be delicious. So thank you for the tip. Let's see. Bright C says, I'm guessing you would recommend using an air fryer. Oh yeah, this oven that I'm showing you, I don't think I can show you. Can I show you? Go like this. Let me just say. There it is. That's it's a Breville. You can see the name at the bottom. It's a Breville large air fryer. It's called a smart oven. And I use it. I stopped pretty much using my regular big oven when I got this machine. And I don't have this machine in my other house. I have a smaller version of an air fryer, but it's great because it's got a bunch of multiple, what do you call it? Multiple different ways that you can, modes, I guess. So I am using, Renee says, I have that Breville and I love it. It was a game changer, really a game changer for me. I have it in my Amazon store, and I always say that I'm going to put my Amazon store in the chat, and then I never do. I forget. Prodigal, could you make a note? Would you do that so that the next time I do a live, which will be next Thursday, that I be prepared to share a few links with you, including my Amazon store and my ebooks, and that would be fabulous. Dictating now. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. Garden Inspired Living says, I made that this week with tamari, Frank's red hot sauce, PB Fit powder, and maple syrup. Oh, yum. Yum, yum, yum. I bet it was delicious. I love anything hot. Frank's hot red sauce. Bring it on, baby. I love that. Okay. It's preheating, and yes, it's an air fryer, and I love it. I use the air fryer probably more than I use a bake or roast. Okay. Any questions before I grab a sip? Let me take a sip. Anybody have any questions? Remember, I like that idea of the 3 Qs. Prodigal. If you have a question, put it in the chat, but precede it with 3 Qs, uppercase Qs, because then it kind of sticks out a little bit more in the chat, and I'll more likely see it. All right, no questions. How are we doing? So far, I've taught you about my little trick about the rice, and now here I want you to notice something really cool. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now that's telling me that it is preheated. So in goes the tofu, and and the cool thing about this Breville is that it has a timer on it. It counts down. So I put in 11 minutes and it's counting down. Okay. Green Lady says, I love my Breville. I can't remember the last time I used my oven. I know, it's a game changer. It's an oven. It's just a small oven, but it's not that small. You can bake in it. You can make a turkey in it if you're eating meat. You can make large things in it, breads. It's really great. All right. I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator because I'm not using it. I had taken it out just to show you. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. So I did the rice, quinoa, I did the torn tofu. I wanted to tell you that if I had done this yesterday or even the day before, where I actually did do the rice and the quinoa yesterday, but if I had made the rice and the quinoa, the tofu, and then the next thing I want to do is zucchini, I would have a meal. I'd have a meal. And that's what I teach people is prep your ingredients. You will make meals from your ingredients. It changes the way we have cooked for decades. Now, I'm not saying we never use recipes. Obviously, I used a recipe for the tofu, right? I used a recipe for the rice, but you don't even have to go, you know how to make rice. You don't have to do it the way I did it. Just make a pot of rice or a pot of quinoa and you're golden, okay? But with the rice and the torn tofu and the zucchini, and I don't have it on me. Again, I'm not home. But a friend of mine, Anna Maria, she taught me, and she teaches her clients about dividing your plate. And if you can imagine, if you will, right now. In fact, do I have a pen? I do. I'm going to show you a picture of what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the circle. Let's imagine that's your plate, all right? I'm going to, oops. Okay, there we go. So the two small parts are for your starch and your whatever plant protein you want. So, for example, this would be my rice, and this would be my tofu. And then this whole half of the plate is going to be your non-starchy vegetables. In this case, it's going to be zucchini. I'm going to make a lot of zucchini. I might also do some cauliflower. I might do some kale so I can get some greens in. But the point being, you can see how we divide the plate, okay? And that is when people tell me they want to lose weight, this is where I go with them, but I still eat this way. Now, I might add some more overt fats because I'm in maintenance. I might add some guacamole. I might add some avocado. I might sprinkle some chia, flax, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds on the rice to get, some of the plant-based fats in there for my omega-3s. But this is if you take a picture or make yourself a picture, draw yourself a picture so you'll have what this looks like. Okay, zucchini is going to be next. Now, let me put this away. Any questions here? Let me look in the. Okay, it looks like we're good. So in the summertime, I'll buy zucchini from the local farmer's market. But when it's not available, I have found that the best place for me to buy organic zucchini is Trader Joe's. Now, I know that not everybody has a Trader Joe's, and not everybody can even have access to organic produce. I would not let that stop you. You want to just eat this is considered a non-starchy vegetable. You want to eat at least a pound of non-starchy vegetables a day. And what I tell people is when you're cleaning up from dinner, take out the vegetables that you think you want to eat the next day. Take out your scale. You should all have one of these scales like this. Take out your scale and measure This is the only weighing and measuring I do. I know I'm being a hypocrite, but this is it only because I want to make sure that I'm eating at least a pound. It's not to limit myself or restrict myself. It's to make sure I eat an abundance of those vegetables. And sometimes our eyes deceive us. So I want you to find the vegetable, the non-starchy that you like. It could be yellow squash. It could be zucchini. It could be cucumbers. It could be tomatoes. It could be any number of things. And even though it's not non-starchy, you could do green beans. Sugar snaps are a little higher in sugar, but I don't care. Unless you're somebody who's watching your sugar for diabetes purposes. So anyway, what I do is I take this and somebody recently asked me if I wash some of my vegetables when I prep them. I tend not to because I don't want them to start spoiling. So I'll wash them when I'm ready to eat them, but I will prep the cutting of them. So I take the zucchini. Ooh, it's smelling so good in here. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I do. I take the zucchini, cut off the end, cut off the ends. Then, this is just the way I like it now. Sometimes I spiralize it. Not going to do that today. So what I do is I will cut it in half. Makes it a little easier. And then I cut it in half again. And then I cut it like this. And so it ends up in, see, I didn't cut it quite evenly, but that's okay. Cut it like that. And you know that when you cut things and they're ready, you have no excuse. Whereas if you don't, we can all be lazy. I can be lazy. But you don't want to be lazy. With this way of eating, if you want to be successful, you have to prep. Remember, I'm the queen of prep. I'm the prepping queen. Okay? Brussels sprouts are another great non-starchy. Yep, absolutely. Okay? Oh, see, it still has 3 minutes left, but sometimes the Breville asks me to open it and rotate the pans, which I don't really do. So I just open it and it'll continue. All right, let me keep going here. And that's it. And I will, if it weren't for the fact of this live, I would do at least 2, if not more, of the zucchini. And I love it. I love it steamed. To me, it's delicious that way. Okay, so now look at that nice big hunk. When we're done, I might do more because I don't know that that's going to be enough for the 3 of us. But I take it and I will put it in a container like this. I usually put it in a smaller one, but again, I'm working with what I have. And I will show you a very cool tool that is one of these. It helps you to sort of scoop things up. I take it, I put it here. This. Sometimes I put a towel. Like I have these small little cloths that I use. And I could easily do another one of these. Easily. Oh, I didn't cut them all the way through. And I will steam these. And maybe squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on them. Maybe I'll do some seasonings on them. But now what I can do is I can take this and I can put it in the refrigerator. I would fill this up. And over the course of about 3-ish days, I would finish it. And then I would make sure to always prep more because I don't want to ever be without my non-starchies. All right. So that right now is a meal. The rice quinoa, the torn tofu, the zucchini. I might, again, depends on where you are in your journey. I might take, it's coming. It's coming. I may take, let me show you. Actually. Okay. I might take corn tortillas like this, and I would cut them into tortilla shapes, like triangles, basically. And then I'd lay them out on a pan, and I'd sprinkle some lime juice and some salt on them. And then I would air fry them until they're crisp. I wanted to see if he's around. Oh, I think he went back out. Okay, he came back in for a second. And then I would have some corn chips, and I have salsa. In fact, I think I will do that. I will. Is anybody interested in my showing you how to do this, so you can see? Let me know in the chat if you want to see how I make corn chips. The torn tofu is almost done. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh. And I get out these. Yep. Oh, I wish I had smell-o-vision. Yes, show us. Okay, I will do that. Let me get this out of the way. See, that's done. That is done. Okay. Now, if you make these in a smaller air fryer, they'll come out even crisper. Let me show you what it looks like. Yum. I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to give it a little try. It's perfect. They're crisp on the outside, and mostly, and pillowy. And see it. It's crunching in my mouth. Oh my God. It came out perfect. It always comes out perfect. Now I'm going to take this and put it over here. And how easy was that, right? If you made, even 2 packages of it, you'd have it for a few days. Leave some for Michael. Well, that brings up a good point, which is a question I get asked a lot, is whether he is whole food plant-based. He loves this tofu recipe, but he wanted fish tonight, so I got him some salmon, and he and his son will have that. So I'll probably eat most of the tofu, or a good part of it. But I always try to leave him some. I'll ask him, do you want tofu with your salmon? All right, let me show you. I'm gonna turn this down. Want to remind all of you to go to the top of your screen or wherever it is on your screen and click. You can leave me a thumbs up if you want that emoji, but I want you to click on the thumbs up so that YouTube says, oh, people seem to like this. I should show it to more people. Okay. So what I do is, let's see, we're going to take 3 of them. Let's see. We'll see what that does. Okay, and I'm going to use my serrated knife. I think before I cut them, let me get a lime out of the refrigerator. All right, lime. Okay. Be right back. Okay. So here's the lime. You put the lime in the coconut, and I'm going to spread these out like this. I'm going to cut the lime. I'll cut it in half. And then I'm going to grab my lemon squeezer. And let's see. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Because I want to be mindful of how much of the lime juice I put on each tortilla. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze it into here. Like that. Okay, put that over here for now. And then I'm going to take find my brush. Here it is. I'm going to take this brush, and I'm going to see how far I can get with this half a lime. I'm going to basically spread it as much as I can. I don't want to do too much because I don't want them to become so saturated that they're not going to crisp up. Okay, that seems to be just the right amount. The lime. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more on each one. A little bit more so we don't waste any of it. And then the rest of it, no, that's it. Okay, so that is the lime. And then I'm going to take the salt. I think I'm going to do some garlic salt instead. I could use this adobo. I wonder how that would be on it. Salt, garlic powder, sugar, spices, including turmeric, citric acid. Okay, not thrilled with all the ingredients in that. So I'm just going to do garlic salt. Okay. And then I'm going to take them and put them on top of each other. And now I'm going to cut them. So I'm going to go across. You can use a pizza cutter. That would work really well. But this works too. It's a you're going to kind of use your hands to help hold them. And then, okay. Now I'm going to take them, and I think what I'm going to do is, give me a second. Again, I'm juggling. I'm going to take the tofu and put it over here, out of the way. Where am I going to put it? This is such a teeny tiny kitchen. Hold on, I'm going to put it over here. Okay. And then I'm going to take this other shelf that slides in, and I'm going to take another piece of parchment, unless I have a small, oh, look, I can use this silicone liner, and that's going to go, that's hot because it was sitting on top of the, okay, and I'm just going to put these on like this. And, you know, is it easier to go and buy a bag? Of course it is. But they're full of saturated fat. They're full of unnecessary calories. And this is just as good. And it does the trick when you want to have a little something like this to go along with your meal, to dip in guac or avocado. What the heck?
Jessica Pruitt.
Why? I have to. Who's my daughter? I'll have to tell her. I'll have to call her back. Okay. Almost done. All right. Now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to air fry them, and I'm going to air fry them on 400. So I'm changing the Breville to 400, and I'm going to do it for maybe 8 minutes. So I'm going to start it, and I'm going to wait for it to, what do you call it? I'm going to wait for it to tell me that it's done, and then I will put it in. Okay. Would lemon juice work? Probably. I've never tried it. I really, you know how I've seen a lot of bagged, already processed and chips, they'll like lime. I think you tend to think of lime with Mexican food, you know, for like margaritas or whatever. So I don't know. You could try it. I happen to really love limes. And that was a half a lime for 3 of those tortillas, little tortillas. And, you know, to be honest with you, I could eat that entire batch with my dinner, but I will share them. Yep, I will share them. So now I was going to do a lot more, but I think that was enough. I want to do the chips because I want to show you how they come out. So we'll talk a little bit more. Yeah, chili lime, exactly. But you know what? look at the fat content of it's usually a serving is maybe 8 chips or something, and look at the fat content and decide if that's where you want to put your energy. What the energy, the calories are energy. Do you want that, or do you want to have food that is, instead of fat, you want to have food that is much more full of fiber? And, we are not a protein deficient nation or world. Well, some places are, but certainly in this country, in America, we're not protein deficient. But who knows what we are deficient in? I've talked about this before. Put it in the comments if you know. What is this country, look, this itchy nose. What is this country deficient in? Not protein, something else. I don't want to give it away. I want to see who knows. Fiber. That's right, fiber. We are deficient in fiber. And, I know that, raise your hand if I'm not the only one who grew up not eating a lot of fiber. The most amount of fiber we would have would be an iceberg lettuce salad, and maybe some canned green beans. Now, if a 1 pound of non-starchies is full of fiber, and I probably eat easily. I should just monitor it and see, but I probably eat easily 100.
Jessica.
Oh, let me just tell my daughter that. Hold on a second. Hi. I'm good. I'm actually in the middle of doing a live on YouTube. Can I call you back? All right. Well, call me when you can later, okay? All right. I love you. Okay, bye. Okay. I'll tell her prodigal that you said hello. She's really fascinated by this whole YouTube thing. And she actually works for Google, and she sells advertising to, the ads that you see on YouTube. She sells advertising to the companies that want to place an ad on YouTube videos. So, which is funny. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay, this is not so hot that I can't handle it. I'm going to put it in, and I talked a little bit, so it's already past the. Okay, that silicone mat doesn't quite fit, but it's fine. All right, so we're going to wait 7 minutes, and during that 7 minutes, I'm going to ask those of you who are willing to tell me one thing you're going to prep in the next 24 hours. 2 or 3, you get a super prize. I don't know what it is, but what I want to know is one thing that you're going to prep. Think about what you have in your refrigerator. Think about what you're willing to take the time to do. Roberta says, love, love, love the real life parts of the video. Oh, like my daughter calling. I know she called twice. She called and then she called again like 2 minutes later. So I didn't want to miss it. And she has a new baby. And so I now have a total of 10 grandchildren, believe it or not, between my kids and my husband's kids. So anyway, so we're going to just do a few more minutes because I want you to see how these chips come out. And I like them. I think they stay nice and crisp. I tend not to put them in a covered container or bag because they start to get softer. But there's usually none left, or if any, there are just very few left. Green Lady says and that's Beth, most of what you made today, I have it all, but not prepped. So you know what, Beth? I talk about in the video, please go watch the video because it's an important one. It's a real foundational video. And I just posted it yesterday. That's the problem that plagues a lot of people, is that they buy the ingredients and then the ingredients don't get prepped. And then you have time after time where you just too tired, too stressed, you don't care, you'll make eggs, you'll get takeout, or you go out, and if you had the food prepped, you can't make excuses. The hardest part about it is taking it out of the fridge and deciding how you're going to cook it. Are you going to air fry it? Are you going to steam it? Are you going to saute it without oil in a pan? That's maybe the hardest thing, right? So TS says also going to pre-cut 2 big broccoli crowns. Fabulous. That's a great thing. And you know what? I usually I will sort of admit to you that I have not used the stems of broccoli crowns. They still come with stems, and I want to learn how to use them. And if anybody has any idea, I am all ears. So great for you. Good for you. Good for you that you're doing that. So, Green Beth, are you gonna prep? Tell me one thing that you have that you're gonna prep. TS says I'm going to slice and cube onions and carrots. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Bright C says veggie mix for stir fry. Perfect. Renee says I haven't shopped yet, but I do have rice and sweet potatoes I could prep. Perfect. Perfect. I bought a white sweet potato today, and I love me some white sweet potatoes. I don't love them hot, believe it or not. I much prefer I bake them, I roast them until they're caramelized, and then I let them come to room temperature. And then I cut them into cubes and I chill them, which creates resistant starch, which is great for helping to lower the impact that the starch has on your blood sugar. I do that with all my potatoes. And I put cinnamon on them. I love them. And I also make brownies from sweet potatoes, which one of these days I'm going to do for you. Okay. My kids call the broccoli stems medallions. Yeah, they are. They fight over them. That's cool. I love that. Starchy Shauna says 6-pound bag of carrots I need to peel and chop. So I have to tell, first of all, anybody on here, if you're listening, go follow Starchy Shauna. She is brilliant. She's one of my besties here on YouTube, and she really knows her stuff, and she knows Starch Solution and lives it backwards and forwards and upside down. So make sure you go and follow Starchy Shauna. I will tell you that it's not done, but it is reminding me to rotate it. So I'm just gonna go like this, and I'm gonna look at them and see. They're not quite done. I want them a little bit crisper. So it has about 2 minutes left. I have been loving lately taking a big not 5-pound, but maybe a 2-pound bag of carrots and grating them in my food processor. And that way I make literally, it ends up making at least this size container. And then I have it to put in my oatmeal in the morning. I have it to put in salads. I have it to put in soups. I have it to put in sushi. So that's just my choice. I'd like to have it sort of grated, which my food processor has a grating disc. But, chop it, do whatever you want. You could, it doesn't really matter, whatever floats your boat. Okay, and Prodigal says to peel or not to peel carrots. I go back and forth about it. I prefer peeled. I know that there's a lot of nutrition in the peels, but I like them clean. So go figure. That's just me. But good question. And Starchy Shauna says, thank you, Ellen. Lots of green hearts. That's right. And then T says, yes, love. Yay, love Starchy Shauna. Right. And I think she's going to go live. I don't know when she's going to do it, but unless she did already, maybe. Tell us when you're going live. Renee says, I have a recipe for sweet potato fudgicles that I haven't made yet. Oh, I have made them, and they're great. It's basically the same recipe as making sweet potato pudding, which is basically sweet potatoes and cocoa or cacao and some maple syrup and some cinnamon, and I don't know, that might be it. And then you mix it up in a food processor or a blender, and then you put them in popsicle molds. Or you can just put it in the fridge and eat it as, what do you call it? They're starting to burn. Hold on. Okay. All right. Here we go. Look at how nice and crisp they are. Ouch. It's a little bit on the hot side. Okay. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Okay. Starchy Sean. Wait, Prodigal says, I make my pumpkin pie with sweet taters. I prefer it that way. Yeah. I love that idea. Shauna says, next week going live for sure. I'm debating about just popping on tomorrow, ripping the Band-Aid off. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, you must do it. I insist. Okay, I'm going to show you. They're hot. I'm going to show you. Watch this. You ready? I could have even done more lime. Can you hear Can you hear how crunchy they are? Heaven. I can't even eat chips out of a bag that have oil on them because the oil on my tongue just doesn't feel good. Sorry, I gotta finish this. Listen. Can you hear that? If you're jonesing for chips, this is the way to go. Perfect. I might have to hide them and not give them to anybody. I know that's not very nice, but all right. Sip of my faux lemonade. Let's review, shall we? Okay, hold on. Just making sure that my kids aren't calling me. All right. We did rice quinoa. I gave you the recipe. We did, and I told you how to freeze it in flat packages. We did torn tofu, which is somewhere, it's in the other room. We did zucchini, which I'm going to steam. And we did chips. And I still have more prepping to do, but that was a loud clench. Yeah. That's what I wanted to show you today. I'll do more on another day. Did anybody else want to listen? There's 30 people on here. I only got a few comments about who's prepping what. So you have 30 more seconds. Who's prepping what? Because sometimes if you say it out loud or say it to somebody else, or like in this live, if you say it, even though none of us are going to know whether you did or you didn't, sometimes that's all you need. Roberta says, just picked up my CSA box, got collard greens, bok choy, and Swiss chard to prep. That's fabulous. Can I tell you something about bok choy? I make savory oatmeal, which is just heavenly. I love it. And I put bok choy in it. In the morning, bok choy. Collards I've done even. Kale. It's fantastic. Starchy Shauna says, you got a lot done in an hour, sister. I did. I got a lot done. And talking at the same time. So, Prodigal, before I end, is there anything I need to remind people of? If you haven't clicked on the thumbs up, it's got like a white outline. Please do so. If you're interested in my ebooks, I'll put those in the show notes as well. And I have a lot of people, all of a sudden, I have 2 ebooks. I have one called Rise and Shine, 20 Oatmeal Morning Recipes. And then I have another one called The Beginner's Guide to a Plant-Based Pantry. And they're both in my store. I will leave both of the links in, so go and check that. I'll leave the link in the show notes below. If you're interested in coaching, let me know. Again, I take a limited number of clients because I want to give every single person that I take on as a client, I want to give them the most that I can. And my time is precious. So Roberta says, whoa. I'm not sure what you're saying whoa to, but yes, whoa. Would you all please click on the heart so you say thank you to Prodigal for being a moderator once again. I couldn't do this without him. So I'm going to do it as well. I'm going to click on the heart. Okay, it's in the, I'm on a laptop, so it's in the right corner. Yeah, there you go. See, you're getting lots of hearts. So we really, really appreciate you. And And I also want to make sure that you follow all the people that I mentioned. There are too many. The last one was Starchy Shauna. Make sure you go follow her. And Nicola Recipes, follow her. Prodigal, give him a follow. And who else did we have on here who has a YouTube channel? We have Nicola Recipes. We have Liquid Hour DNB. Follow him for really good background music, really excellent. And I think and then, this is, how cool is this? There's somebody on this live who's been on before, and she and my sister have become friends. Turns out they live near each other. How cool is that? I love that. Okay. Whoa, savory oatmeal. Yes, I know. It's crazy. I never would have thought so, but it's like one of my favorite oatmeals, right? My sister Faye makes it. I don't know, Starchy Shauna, have you tried the steel cut? Oh, well, you can do it with rolled oats too, but it's savory. It's sensational. If you want me to do that on a live, I'll do it. It's just that my lives tend to be during the afternoon, and by then I've had my oatmeal for the morning. So Prodigal says, thanks for being here. Don't forget to tickle the thumbs up, and see you next week. Karen, thank you. Liquid Hour, for sticking it out with me. Karen says, late to the party, so I'll listen later from the beginning. Hello from Texas. Starchy Shauna says, yes. Okay. I do want to tell you that something kind of funny. I have gotten a number of comments, maybe three, from people who say, you talk too much. I'm going to say it like with a New York accent. You talk too much. You chatter too much. Get to the point. Like, please, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. This is real life, and there's enough people who like it. And if it doesn't float your boat, then go find somebody else who doesn't chat so much. So it's that's just them's the breaks, I guess. So again, thank you so much. I'm gonna clean up this mess, and I'm gonna snack on another one of these. Yum. Starchy Shauna says, thank you, Ellen. You're awesome, sister. I love the chatting. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, because it did hurt my feelings for about a minute. And then I was like, you know what? If you don't like it, move along. You don't have to stay. I'm not going to change the way I do things. So anyway, it's been a week of craziness. And I am sorry that I missed last Thursday, but I'm going to try to get back on the horse, and hopefully I'll see you all next Thursday, same time, same place. Thursday at 4 seems to be a good time. If you haven't seen my latest video, go check it out. It's 12 minutes. It's not a long commitment. And leave a comment. Let me know that you are here on the live and that you're watching my latest long form video. And Bright C says, you don't talk too much. Feel like we're with you in your kitchen. I know. It feels like you are with me in my kitchen. It's fantastic. So thank you all. I'm so grateful. Let's take a moment like we did, I think, at the last live. Let's just meditate together. I'm going to set my timer. Hold on. We're going to set it for a minute, and we are going to timer. Oh, you know what? Hey, Siri, set my timer for 1 minute. And we're just all going to do, peace begins with me. 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 Peace Perfect. May you all be blessed, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye, everybody.